Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to game number 1 of the North American scene. My name is hi-rez Bart. That's Dry Bear, and we are moments away from getting into the picking and banning phase of Cognitive Prime versus Cognitive Red. And, well, Red looking to continue their streak at the top of the North American ladder. Prime looking to improve their seeding position. They want to make sure they get that second-place seed, so they defer the team kill for as long as possible during the regional LAN. First picks and bans starting to come through. Cognitive Prime will be the left side of your screen. Red will be the right, and they will be opening the banning phase here on the side of Prime. And, well, Thor immediately off the board. None of that shenanigans going.
Yeah, you don't want Garz to get that. Now,
Garz
Garz has been playing a lot of Kali recently, and surprisingly enough, he's kind of like defaulted away from Hunbots, so that doesn't seem to be in his pool as much as you think.
Yeah.
Apollo banned away by Cog Red there, a shot at Barracuda. You don't want him to have that. And then Raw in response, that's going to be straight at the Boosh, making sure he doesn't get that in the mid lane, but he does have a lot of backups here. But again, yeah, I mean, we got 13-2 for Cog Red, 9-6 for Cognitive Prime, first and third seed. And so you're looking to see if Cog Prime will start to climb that chart. But again, you're right. They're kind of planning for the regional at this point. They know that they're locked in. They're all qualified. They're realizing that as long as they don't face each other in the regional in a way that they eliminate each other, they may want to both go. But Mercury first pick here after the ban.
Yeah, the ban's coming out. Thor, Ra, no big surprise, becoming the standard bans versus Cog Red, and people preferring to get beaten potentially by Divios' Giannis over Bush's Ra. Right. On the side of Cog Red, it's Rom and Kukulkan being looked at. Kukulkan locked, Rom locked as well. So Mercury, Rom, Kukulkan going to be your first 3 picks here in the draft. And, well, that's going to be Bush's Kukulkan pre-nerf here. We've seen him be very powerful with Alkwang in the past before the change.
Now, with Geb gone, you'd think they want to grab Athena before the next ban phase here on the side of Cognitive Prime. They're hovering on Ares and Freya, looking for an opportunity to switch that up possibly. Freya, great choice. I don't see... Oh, okay, yes, there's the Athena lock-in. Of course, if Geb's gone, Athena gets exponentially more powerful because Geb is the only person that can cleanse the taunt off of his teammates, making that taunt that much less effective. And Athena really only has that single CC. So Geb is a great counter to Athena. But with Geb gone, it's a great choice. And over the way, Cognitive Red's going to get Divios his wonderful Giannis.
Yeah, that's no big surprise there, rounding it out with one of their favorite picks overall. Red is going to follow it up with a ban onto Agni, trying to limit the mid lane options for Cognitive Prime. However, notably, Zhang Kui is available here. Bacchus to follow a ban from Cog Prime, trying to take that powerful Guardian out of the pool. In fact, a little surprised not to see Prime draft that and ban the Athena. But here they are going to be moving into the next picking phase where Red is taking a look at least at Kumbhakarn. We'll see if they do lock this in. It definitely has the synergy with Giannis, as we saw in the last game. Also bring the synergy with Kukulkan, as well as Rom as well, to sleep into starting out that Astral Barrage. Can all work out, but no, they're going to actually switch it over to Sobek here at the last moment.
Sobek has 6% pick ban rate, so it's pretty easy to see, even if you don't watch as much SPL, that this is a surprising pick from Cognitive Red. Now, Sobek has one of the best laning phases there for as a Guardian, but we do know it's Ionic, right? And Ionic, as far as his top 3, Sobek and Gab are kind of in the top, 1-2 slots. Sometimes Sobek goes back and forth. He's done very well with Sobek before. I mean, Sobek has only been played by Ionic and Zalia. Zalia in the solo lane, it didn't work too well, but Ionic's keeping those stats up.
Yeah, Ionic's sitting at 4-0, I believe, on the Sobek there, so he's had a lot of success. Yeah, Garz is going to lock in Kali for his jungle, and actually, we missed this, but rounding out the Cog Prime draft is Nua in addition to Guan Yu. So Nua going to be going to the mid for MLC Stealth, where he has had some success, and Guan Yu has been a monster for Omega, but how will he fare going up against that solo lane Giannis from Divios? Not quite the same as the matchups we've seen before from him, which are generally going up against another bruiser or an assassin, where Guan Yu really excels. How will he deal versus the Magical Burst?
We'll see. I mean, Kali has been pretty successful so far for Garz. They have great initiation with Sobek and good long-distance damage from Kukulkan and Giannis, as well as Rom. So I think Cog Red has a very strong sit back and do what you need to do kind of team, whereas Cognitive Prime is getting pretty aggressive here. You got Mercury with the ultimate and clear the distance. Athena can ult across the map. You got Freya with the immunity when she's up in the air, and of course Stealth, the guaranteed global. And then Guan Yu's going to be able to get in and get out with his horse very easily. So I think Cognitive Prime looking to be more aggressive here in the beginning of this match and trying to look for more of a push, especially up against Garz. Statistically, Garz is one of the best junglers, if not the best jungler, when he's even or ahead, but he does not perform well when he's behind, and you compound that with the fact that he's playing Kali, and all of a sudden, Cog Prime's thinking, we got to shut down Garz as quickly as we can.
But when you look at Garz's top pool in his junglers over the last month, kind of excluding that Hunbots, as we were mentioning, Kali and Thor are both gods that rely on Snowball, both gods that rely on being ahead, and Garz has certainly not had any slipping of success with either of them, so he's perfectly comfortable playing those riskier gods. Let's take a look at our players overall here and see how Cog Red is stacking up versus Cog Prime. really vice versa here, as really the students have become the masters. Cognitive Red taking that number one position over the more tenured Cognitive Prime.
Oh, man. Well, let's see up on the screen, the double red coming through here. The left side of the screen will be Cognitive Prime. And then start with 471 GPM. About even on the KDA there. 56-57 for kills and deaths. 181 for Jeff Hindla in the support role for assists. Very strong there. But Barracuda looking so good. 486, one of the highest Hunter GPMs in the entire SPL. 69-31. And again, you do actually see a situation where they ban Apollo against him, so they don't want him to pick that up. Stealth dropping 67-43, 121 with that 464 GPM. Cog Red looking so sharp right now, but let's see how their stats change as they pick up a specific god role. 100% win there for Megatron when he's playing Guan Yu. In fact, he's never died playing Guan Yu.
Not yet. 9-0-8.
That's it.
And that game was very, very dominant with putting up
But
500.
look at there's 400% in the side of Cog Red. They've never lost when they play Rom, Giannis, Sobek, or Kali. In fact, Garz has never died with Kali, and he's 16-0-9 with 537 GPM.
His stats on Kali are insane right now. Those first few games were definitely very, very successful. The Sobek has been. And what I'm looking at there is that none of these are, like, first time played.
Right.
You know? Like, it's not like they have, like, just, like, a couple kills, a death, and some assists, and they manage to win. It's like they've played 2, 3, 4 games with these gods, some of them. Looking at the ROM, especially for Snoopy, without any losses there. So, Cognitive Red, you can see just how powerful they are. A lot of that also indicated through the GPM numbers that you saw on their overall screens, where they tend to excel over everyone else as they get a lot of tower and Phoenix gold towards the end of the games. But that does bring us into the game where you can see this matchup is ruled by Cognitive Red. And we're going to see the last 2 times, I believe, these teams will be matching up. Will the Cog Prime boys find a win over Red in the regular season?
Well, look at the starting items here. You can see that we do have that heavy hammer start from Guan Yu, able to control the lane, and will help out a lot with Kali as well. And anytime Kali gets close, he's going to be able to slap once, get that slow from the Warrior's Will, and get the distance there. Now, we do see Barracuda running that Freya Hunter role, so we're going to see that in the left line, which does work quite well against Rom. That has the ability to kind of keep the immunity up, get in the air, and also has a large amount of single target burst damage with that Pulse Irradiate combination. The invasion here on the right side, and it's starting Megatron going in deep, looking for that movement speed buff, or possibly the blue buff. Top right corner, there goes the damage. They're starting to get this off right. There goes Garz. Double hog comes out. Looks like it's going to go to the way of Cog Prime. Damage coming out on Garz. Tornado on the ground. The Whirlwind going to come through, but that's going to be it. But it's a big loss for Didios to not have that buff.
Yeah, Giannis definitely the kind of god that is obviously, as a mage, relying a lot on his man in the early game for his clear. Toss back onto Divios. No Talu Assault available. That in-hand hit a lot, and here comes the Talu Assault. It is a first blood going the way of Cognitive Prime. It just looked too easy. Left side lane, Jeff Hindla fights Eonic as well as Barracuda, and he combined for yet another kill, underestimating the Freya damage there. And the Sobek, well, is... you know, he must have missed the pluck. That's pretty much the only way that these kind of things happen for the Sobek.
Wow, big damage there. Cog Prime taking a big charge. This is exactly what we were talking about the picking stage, that, you know, early game is the crucial part for Cog Prime. They have to make sure that they actually put Cog Red behind in the beginning, because statistically Cog Red does not actually drop matches if they get any kind of start in the beginning. So, you know, you're looking at this team Cog Red looking so sharp, and you can tell that Cog Prime has a renewed energy coming into this matchup here. Stealth going to get that damage buff, of course, because they invaded the blue buff. That damage buff is still exposed. In fact, the blue buff is still standing here for Omega. Left side damage coming down, looking for Snoopy. Shield wall will do some harassment there, but they're going to back off.
The early 2 kills definitely going to help out Prime, especially Mercury getting credit for one of those kills, helping him out in the jungle, getting him into that hyper carry mode sooner rather than later. Going to be very, very important for Prime, as they're going up against a Kali, and it's very hard to feel safe in the early game, even with 2 kills, including the first blood going your way. If Kali finds a kill here in the next 3 to 4 minutes, it will start her snowball off. Chin size, if they come out before, and anywhere in that 15 to maybe 18-minute range, it's going to be really big problems for Cognitive, as you can bet that MLC is going to be building into Warlock Sash.
Mercury grab the left side, going to find Snoopy here. Damage coming out, good body block. Damage coming through. Major Look will come out shortly, but they're going to back off. Great body block by Cog Prime, but even better by Eonic on Sobek, making sure the shots do not come through onto Snoopy. Items progressing a little bit slowly here. Anderson now going back and picking up his combat boots and working towards those Warrior Tabi. We see the second blue buff taking the right side, as a Megatron did pick up the enemy blue buff. He now will continue that into the self blue buff there on the friendly side and have continual mana forever.
What'll be interesting to me here is if Omega will still build into the Mystical Mail or not. It has such tremendous synergy with Guan Yu giving him that AoE magical damage when he likes to stick
right
in.
side, look at
Let's
this
hold.
stun. Popping up the horse, looking for Divios. Can he find the stun here? There goes the last hit. The stun comes out, and Warriors Will should be able to finish it. And one more shot. No, he falls in the portal. Guaranteed the death. Divios survives. His patience did not pay off there. He needed to just Warriors Will out.
Yeah, I was trying to make sure that he could guarantee himself the kill. One more in-hand into the Warriors Will. Falls into the portal. And Divios, with a great kind of presence of mind, turns that play around, makes it a one-for-one trade even, but it does net a kill onto MLC Stealth. Mid-camp starting to spawn up here, but one side has Kukulkan, and he should be able to zone fairly well, even with the Clay Soldiers from Nuwa. Not going to be used. Cog Prime perfectly happy to go ahead and take the right side camp away here and make that an even trade in the early game.
I see Divios already having 2 deaths here just because of the engagement he's seen so far. Look at the gold numbers, 1,300 in favor of Cog Prime. Talk coming out from Hinla, but actually going to miss their charge play going right into a minion. So both supports missing their opportunity to initiate in that situation. 3 versus 3, not going to happen here as you see Kukulkan going up towards the left area of the mid camps and back into the lane he goes. We do see Sprint 2 pick up from Divios. He does not want to be slowed by Guan Yu, especially since he has the heavy hammer into the Warriors Will. Engagement mid lane, looking for an engagement on guards. Will they find it? They're actually let it go and back on off as the Hunters are brawling on the left side of the map.
Yeah, right side as well. You know, you have that very, very aggressive play from Omega, and he's doing a great job of kind of abusing the fact that Giannis's clear does not come online for some time yet. Now rotating over to the orange buff where he's going to be at least meeting with 2 members of COG. This is actually a 4v2 for the moment, and I think COG Prime's going to realize that and back off as Kukulkan on the Boosh is missing from the mid lane. Those calls coming out, not much they can do to aggress here. And he's going to channel that ultimate, but he's going to have to make a call quick if he's going in. They're going to like to go on this blue buff, double hogging it yet again to secure that camp. But they've done a nice job of stripping that XP away now twice from Cognitive Red.
Portal coming out from Divios, back into the lane he goes. We do see a level 8 Omegatron against a level 6 Divios. The gold numbers right now, Divios at 3,100, Omegatron at 3,700. So a 600 gold deficit in the solo lane here for Cognitive Red. 3-1 at 5 minutes into the match. Cog Prime is going to be boasting a strong 1,400 gold lead, and it seems to be stagnant right now as Cog Red is looking for their major chance to turn this back around. The Gold Fury is standing and kind of going towards that threshold where you look to start taking
Oh, Mercury's going in on the right side lane. Divios in a lot of trouble, and dead to rights is he. Anderson ult from behind his tier 1 picks up an easy kill on a Divios with the help of Omega, and perhaps most importantly of all here, Drybear, Omega up now by about 400 to 500 gold.
Yeah.
And that's going to be on top of picking up a tier 1 teleport, meaning that he is ahead in gold even after picking up that item, which should give him even more lane presence, which will continue to snowball in his favor. Omega has looked unstoppable in Guan Yu so far in his play in SPL.
Well, I think Cog Prime has kind of found the place that you're going to put all your forces and kind of overload it on Cog Red, right? They've tried to take out Boosh before. He plays very safe and he's very smart. They try to take out Gars, but he usually plays junglers that are very mobile. Kali can jump over walls, Thor can fly away and teleport, Hoonbox can jump over as well, and so they're having trouble locking down Gars, and they figure out, you know what, if he's going to play Giannis in the solo lane, let's put all our pressure there. Let's take his blue buff. Let's gank his lane often. Now you see Divios sitting 1-3-0, and he's kind of the staple that they look for in the mid stage of the game, where Divios comes out doing tons of magical damage, and that's kind of what they lean on as a foundation. But with that gone for Cog Red, Cog Prime is looking to have a great mid-game transition.
Yeah, their mid-game, excuse me. Yes, their mid-game is going to be very potent. The Freya will be online significantly before where the Rom will start looking to be a big impact. Gar's looking at the same as he just took for that Mage. Could be in some trouble now as he tries to move in. He's going to take the mid-camps with the help of the Tornado, it looks like, at least for now, but he realizes he can't take another nuke coming out from the Nuwa, and yeah, they actually forced to reset his guards there, and it ends up being stolen. Both sides going to go to Cog, and Cog not done yet. They're going to be looking for the red buff as well. Not much Snoopy can do about this one. Bush and Yannick, I don't think they've spotted this out yet. The ward is there for Cog Prime. They'll realize that there is no pressure coming in, and they'll take away yet another buff from red.
Amazing play there and good engagement. They realized that, Enoch had to get out of the fight. They had no hog, but they didn't really need it as Andy started coming through doing tons of AoE damage. They were able to clear that out quickly and gave the damage buff there to Jeff Hinla, realizing that they really couldn't safely wander back in to the jungle camp just to pick it up, so may as well just give it to the support and move on with your life. At this point, we're going to see a much bigger disparity as it continues on upward into the top levels. 2,400 gold and 4,000 experience in favor of Cognitive Prime. And the biggest downside for Cog Red right now is top gold, top kills, and top player damage go to Divios, who's currently 1-3 and struggling.
That's right. Divios has always out of this lane been such a great...
Oh,
wow. The burst
God!
was very, very nasty there as Garz gets just wiped off of the map. This could be a Gold Fury as well now coming out from Cog Prime with those new Clay Soldiers to help tank it up as well. But it looks like it's going to be ROM aggression as he is up in the air. Mercury's here. He's going to at least get positioning on Snoopy. It's going to make this roll tough. And here comes the damage coming through. The new ultimate going to get an assist for stealth as well as he continues to rack up the player damage. Omega has rotated to the mid lane. And with his teleport to wards active now, nowhere is safe on the map for Cog Red.
Well, Barrick to the left side, going to start clearing out this wave. Ionic is holding it down so the tower doesn't take too much damage here. Nice ward placement onto the Gold Fury from Cognitive Red, realizing that's coming up soon. Ionic, as intelligent a player as he is, picks up that Hog 3 and rushes it knowing that they don't have map control, they don't have gold lead, they don't have experience lead, that they can't lose any objectives. And so they're looking to pick up that Hog 3 early on and make sure things are looking good. And at this point, we're realizing that things are kind of progressing in an awkward fashion. Cog Red is normally expected to take the early game, and it's up to teams to kind of come back in the mid, but we have that flipped on its head. Cognitive Prime is showing that there are weak points in the armor of Cognitive Red.
Andy and Omega once again roaming as the orange buff comes up. They're going to try to zone Garz and Snoopy out. I'm sorry, Garz and Boosh out of this, at least for the moment. They're going to go in deep here. Garz is going to try to fight this one off. They get the tornado out on two, but here comes Stealth. Boosh is going to be zoned out now by the Nuwa. The burst damage coming through as well from the Shining Metal. Blue buff this time, however, will get secured by Divios, and that's got to be a breath of fresh air for the Giannis.
Oh, absolutely.
Wait, no, did he get it? He did not get it, actually. I'm sorry. It did go to Omega. I'm sorry. That was the glow of his hands, not the actual belt. It was picked up and taken away yet again.
Gar's level 8 right now, and this is the thing we talk about all the time, is not only is Gar's one of those players that really handles momentum very well, but he doesn't have any, and also he's playing Kali. So Kali, a character that really needs that first item. There are some characters in the game that they don't really do anything until their core is activated, and Kali's definitely one of them. Once that core is activated, as far as picking up a Chinsai, picking up an Oboe, picking up a Fatalis, able to do a lot with it. Ton in the mid lane, Gar's in a lot of trouble here. He can't die here. There goes the jump. He's going to be able to disengage in time, but so far, it seems like a lot of patience is required for Cognitive Red.
They have to find a way to get a kill out for Garz. They need to get some gold going his way as well because he needs to start, dictating the pace of this game a little bit. Right now, it's purely Mercury. Mercury is just rotating around the map, finding kills in every lane. He's successfully ganked mid, solo, and duo at this point. And in the early game is fully Cog Prime. So where does Cognitive Red kind of draw back? How do they, where do they find it within themselves to make this back into an even trade moving into the mid game?
Well, it's hard. I don't know if Cog Red really has an exit strategy until it hits mid-game. We're talking about 20, 25 minutes, maybe even 30 before they can kind of accumulate more golden experience. Now, keep in mind, Cog Red is the highest-rated team in the world right now as far as seeding points and statistical performance. And so if you're looking for a team to come back from a very detrimental early game, it's going to be Cog Red. The question is can they actually find a weakness into Cog Prime? Because Cog Prime is taking very little risk. They're controlling the map very casually but very intelligently, and they're not really leaving much room for Cog Red to kind of start climbing that staircase of getting back to even because they're blocking even the start of it. You see Anitzer looking for that early damage with that. You can pick up a very small mace. I would imagine it's going to Jotun's Wrath even, or maybe even a Titan's Bane just to start this match out for more penetration. Megatron's got some defense started up with that cloak. I imagine he can go directly into the height of the Urchin, but he does have teleport to Towers 3, and so he's going to be able to start, or shield teleport, he's going to start using that to just make sure that nothing really falls to the wayside.
Well, the warding around the map right now is there's no wards on the map right now. In fact, as I look around, curiously enough, unless
no, there's tons.
Oh, I don't
press that M key. We got
there we go.
4 from Cog Prime and 3 from Cog Red.
I was wondering about that. Why I saw no wards. Okay, but that being said, nonetheless, Omega can port into those wards. Cog Prime does pick up the Gold Fury there, as Ionic is not in position to contest. The Giannis ult comes through, but it is a bit late. Nothing that Red can do about that one. But teleport to Towers rank 3, as you mentioned, shielded teleport also gives you the opportunity to teleport to wards.
That's right, and he'll be able to get around the map. That's kind of the biggest downside of Guan Yu is that he is quite slow in the recovery when team fights shift radically. But this is the thing you expect from top teams. There's a small 12-second window, and they take Gold Fury. I mean, that's what it takes, right? You have to be so prepared mentally and physically that the second there's a window, put down a sentry ward, do the Gold Fury. Before they even think that you're doing it, it's already done.
Yeah, and that's kind of a little bit, it kind of all came off of that early kill in the duo lane. That turns into an advantage over there, which means that the lane is more often pushed up, which means the Freya can rotate easier and keep the ROM locked down, which means that Ionic is forced to babysit more often. And if he's roaming, it all kind of starts to fall apart, and that's how those Gold Fury opportunities come to pass, is that you've kept the jungler down okay, but really it's that early duo kill that sets up that Gold Fury in the 10-minute area.
Well, we're going to see some major movement here from Cog Prime, looking to be much more aggressive. The mid camps are spawning up. Cog Prime looking to clear this out, but at the same time, we're wondering, will it be enough to slow down Cog Red? They're looking to be very sharp here. Cog,
no blue buff ever.
Dagars.
That's the strategy. You will never get
rough.
this blue buff. And
It's
once
rough.
again, stolen away.
Devious looking for Book of Thoth, though. You're going to start stacking up and playing very safe. Yannick looking for a charge. Going to find MLC Stealth. And MLC Stealth like, okay, I guess I'll go mid then.
And now I'm at mid lane.
Thanks for redirecting me.
But look at this. 5 members of Cog Red have moved to the right side of the map to try to contest that blue buff invade and make sure they can secure the orange buff for Gars. I mean, they're just investing so much into that. And Omega, well, he's going to casually walk in the lane and go pick up that blue buff that once should have gone to Divios and be perfectly happy with it. Gars is going to shade over this way, but with 4-level advantage, in addition to the rank 2 building of the Height of the Urchin with that armor cloak, Kali not much of a threat to the Guan Yu.
Kali rotating over. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much secured in this lane. It also has, of course, the shielded teleport, able to kind of go through, and really only the portal or the stun would do it. So if they initiate with the incense and the portal is on cooldown, then all of a sudden he can just shield the teleport. There's nothing they can really do about it. Right side of Megatron is being pushed back by Divios, but more of like a willingly pushed back. He's like, I guess I'll go home kind of thing. Looking at Boosh, looking at a Warlock Sash early for him. And you can see this kind of pick up here. I mean, Cog Red is just willingly going into stacking items, realizing that they have to farm out anyways, and they're not looking to make many fights happen.
Yeah, it's smart. Yeah, you see the Book of Thoth as well as the Warlocks coming out, as you're mentioning there. And yeah, they're kind of relegating themselves to looking into the later stages of the game, around 30 minutes, where the Giannis is going to start having real kill potential. Boosh will do tremendous amounts of damage and have great zoning, as well as Gars and Snoopy starting to come online with that physical damage, but they'll be fighting into a late game Mercury and Freya at that point.
Well, we see Book of Thoth completed here for Divios. Going to start stacking up as soon as he possibly can. Anister did go to Jotun's Wrath, which is not super typical for someone like a Mercury, but we do see him going on this side. And I think he realizes that, more ultimates, more special deliveries, more initiations, and more poke will make his team be that much stronger, and he can look to be strong in the mid and late game once he actually has some crit online with a Rage or a Deathbringer to kind of like really seal the deal. But at this point, he's just saying, if I can ult more often, it's going to be that much better.
Well, Nuwa here for MLC Stealth in the side of Cognitive Prime has seen a lot of success so far in this game. 2-0-2, and those ultimates have been quite effective. Let's hold that thought is on the left side with Yevon initiation breaking out the Sobek. Blocks Jeff Hinla here. Jeff going to dash into red buff, and he's going to try to ult through here. He's going to block a lot of that damage with the minions, and now he is out of the fight, it looks like, at least for the moment. Trying to get the last snipe is Snoopy, and he will find it indeed. Yannick in a lot of trouble as Omega is piled right on top of him. There's not much you can do to get out of this one as Anua ults there. Snoopy does get stunned out now by the Guan Yu. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far, but it's a support trade overall. Barracuda trying to go deep on the Snoopy.
In trouble.
Ultimate. Snoopy's going to roll, dodge one, but the last shot does hit. Divios goes through the portal. Kukulkan ultimate comes out, hitting a lot of players there, but not enough damage yet stacked up onto Boosh to make that a big problem. Mercury ultimate's now available. He's going to go in on a guard, canceling out the ultimate for the special delivery, but Gars will find the kill on the Barracuda, so it ends up being a 2-for-2 extended trade. Both of the hunters, Barracuda and Jeff Hinla traded for Yannick and Snoopy.
This is a story of gold. That's all it is. Cog Red is just not doing enough damage. And, they make the mistake that almost everyone the same mistake that everyone makes. It's just when the support initiates early, you think you have enough time to kill them before the team fight starts. Most of the time, you don't, especially when they're so far ahead here. You can see that Jeff Hinla or his Sovereignty done very, very tanky, and they use a lot of cooldowns, a lot of time, and sacrifice positioning to try and kill Athena, which they did do, but again, it took a ROM ultimate to do, which means that when Snoopy was trying to box with Barracuda on the other side, he didn't have his ult left. He had to use it to secure the kill on Jeff Hinla. So, kind of a little bit of an amateur mistake there, trying to kill off Athena, rushing it, and then not having enough left to finish the fight.
I think Cog Red's just desperate for kills and probably looking to try to disengage there as well. But it's going to be a grouping on the left side. 4 members of Cognitive Prime are here. Omega going to be on the zone, while Andy and Jeff Hinla combine to take down the Gold Fury here. MLC self-throwing and damage where he can as well. And Cog picks up their second Gold Fury of the game at the 16-minute 50-second mark, giving them the 6,600 gold advantage and 9,000 experience to boot. Right side now, take a look as Divios is forced out of this lane yet again. He does find a tier 1 nonetheless, but it's just a trade for the mid tower that did go down.
Barracuda's getting scary. He's got his core build up here. Of course, he's got that Pulse Radiate, which is, bonus damage on attacks. If you deal more attacks without gaining much damage, you still deal a ton more damage because those abilities are duration-based. And so as long as you get more attacks in that duration, you will do a ton more damage. We do see Omegatron looking for a Jotuns, it looks like here. Going to pick up a lot of extra penetration and CDR, able to use more abilities more often. MLC Stealth is recognizing that they're trying to kill him off, and so he picks up a Bancroft, which means that he's going to have a little bit of life still to keep himself going. But of course, Bancroft gives you more damage the lower your HP is, so if they focus Stealth, he's going to have that much more burst.
It looks like he's going to be trying to fire off that ultimate later in the fight rather than to initiate. Kind of once he's forced to leave out or right before he dies, going to fire it off to maximize his damage with the Bancroft's talent.
We do see a little bit of a slowing here as Barracuda stares at the
the
dead minions in front of him.
1,000-yard stare there for Barracuda.
Just stared at those minions. We do see 18 minutes into the match. 8-3 here in favor of Cognitive Prime. The gold is not looking so sharp for Cog Red. 6,200 gold and 9,200 experience in favor of Cog Prime. Cog Red has not had a lead at all this game, and they're looking to kind of buy their time and look for a strong comeback in the late stages, but they don't really have that strong of a comeback team.
No, they don't. They don't. The Sobek is going to have a hard time as he's not going to have the requisite farm to be tanky enough to deal with missed initiations. So he's going to have a hard time staying alive in the fights. Gar's obviously paper thin on the Kali. Kukulkan doesn't have damage items yet. The Warlock Sash is done, but he's going to need to finish a Book of Thoth as well on top of that to be a big damage threat. And Giannis, well, Giannis has been a complete non-issue in this game.
Well, to be fair, Guan Yu's going to fall off way harder than Giannis will in the late stage of the game. So Divius will start to skyrocket, and Omegatron will start to fall down in the damage numbers. Now, it's going to come down to hyper carries, right? You've got Kali versus Mercury, and you've got Ram versus Freya. All four of those characters deal a ton of damage late game, and really it just comes down to pressure. Now, you're going to have a decent amount of control on the side of Cognitive Red, but I think that the X factor for Cog Red and their ability to try and win team fights in the mid and late game stages is whether or not Cog Red gives Gars enough space to initiate. Kali is a very difficult character in the way that you can't just jump in the middle of a big AoE fight and try to kill someone. You need the perfect initiation time and enough space to do your work. And so if Cog Prime is always initiating, I don't see Gars doing enough until super late game to turn the team fight on its head.
Yeah, but Omega's power spike right now is really strong. Like, fighting right now, Cognitive Prime has massive advantages, and I think that they may be able to just transition that into being far enough ahead in the late game that some of those intricacies of the hypercarry matchups don't pan out, where really the only advantage that Red's going to have is in the kind of Hunter side, where Rom will outcarry Freya in a long enough game, but Mercury, I think, all things equal, beats Kali.
Okay.
Easy, right? The special delivery into the free in hands that he gets, on top of the ultimate free in hands that he gets. She can only beads away one of those, and it'll have to be a kind of ultimate to spare her from death, in addition to some really, really well-placed, well-timed crits and that power buff to kill the Mercury or lock down from another player. But in the strict 1v1, I think that goes to Mercury pretty
Jungle
easy.
Invasion coming out here, looking for some pressure on Cog Red. Gars' jump is on cooldown. He's getting taunted. Shield wall on the ground. Here comes Barracuda, looking for the shot. Gars got nowhere to go. Pops ultimate to buy himself some time, but that's all his cooldowns. Frey up, gets it in one shot. Gars, big mistake there, using that jump early, and now Cognitive Red is on the retreat. They have to go on home here, leaving the Fire Giant available. The Gold Fury will be coming up in just about 45 seconds, but very strange to see Gars just jump into that.
Far right, tier 1, lane all the way pushed up here. Wouldn't be surprised to see Omega port into a ward on the right side of the map and look to push that in if this push on the right side, on the left side does peter out. But they're going to look for the tier 1 at least here. Pushing into it now. MLC Stealth going to be zoning out the minions, making sure that they get full damage there. There's an ultimate being channeled by Andy, and there's actually a lot of players stacked up here from Cog. He's probably going to dip in the jungle and look for this initiation. Moving in slowly now, throwing out the major look. Andy takes a lot of damage for his trouble. Toss back now is Stealth as well. Can they pile on for enough damage? Where's that Kukulkan ultimate? It's got to come out soon. Athena out on top of Omega, but Omega suns out Boosh, and Jeff Hitler comes crashing down on top of Yannick for that kill. Rotating in now is the Giannis. Barracuda and Andy out of this fight, too low, trying to disengage. Here is Cog Prime. Can they make it on time? Snoopy gets stunned out. In comes Divios. Does he have the damage? Not enough to kill Andy. Didn't even hit him. MLC Stealth moving out of this fight. Divios trying to keep pace, but they realize they can't continue in. Cognitive Prime gets away there with a tier 1 and a full back without losing anyone, while picking up a kill onto Yannick, which makes this Gold Fury attempt that looks like Red is setting up for not
They're
that
try
safe.
and do it. Guan Yu and Athena in the area, though. They needed the Hog 3, and they don't have it. They're going to do this without a Hog 3, and Cog Prime's right there. I would imagine they're just going to walk away from this one.
Yeah, they can't. They thought they could catch Cog backing there, but Jeff and Omega just a bit
If
too
Yannick
savvy.
didn't die, they definitely could have done it.
Absolutely. But now Cars actually, he may try to make a play here. Jeff Hinler taking a lot of damage. There's no ultimate available, but the banish comes out from Freya's going to get chain slowed on the way down. Gar's in some trouble. Will they aggress past the tornado? They will, as Andy's here as well. Gar's ultimate active. but down he will go to the special delivery. Anderson picking up credit for that kill. Snoopy getting chased out by Barracuda here as well. There comes the pulse, and that's enough damage. He does take the shotgun from Divios, but it's not enough to stop the kill. Biana can't re-aggress because here comes MLC Stealth throwing out the smoke, and Cognitive Prime. Here comes Omega moving right in, and he could just pop on this horse right on cooldown and go look to make a play once again, as there's no one that can stop him at this point.
The problem is Gars is not being patient. And this is what I'm talking about with him not being a good player as far as like from behind, is because he doesn't make the I'm losing and I don't have enough gold or experience kind of decisions. He still plays like he's ahead here. Damage on Divios looks like to fall down here. Huge numbers. Now they're looking for Eonic. This looks like another kill as well. Nice root stun there from Stealth. It's going to be a double kill for Megatron on the back end of that team fight. But you see Gars continually jumping in and using his only escape mechanism to try and start the fight. But then he realizes that the cooldown on my jump is not actually that great. The Nimble Strike is just something you really have to kind of keep in the pocket if you're playing Call V, especially from behind. And it seems like every single time a team fight has gone wrong for Cog Red, it's on the back of Gars just starting it off, taking a lot of damage. Fire Giant being picked up here by Cog Prime. Nothing Cog Red can do about it. This will fall down very shortly here. They have no hog. Gars looking for the shot.
Well, now as Gars moving into 5, Shell is active. He's not going to find anything. Nimble Strike to get out of that one. Anderson and MLC Stealth going to zone him out. Here comes the ultimate from Stealth. Not enough to finish off Gars, doing a lot of damage in the fight. Down will fall Boosh. First to fall, Divio still not respawned. They're going to take a look at the tier 1 on the right side here as well. It'll be an easy backdoor. They can continue the aggression if they want to as well. And hey, it's been so successful for them so far in this game, they'll take another blue buff away from Divios.
Yeah, well, why not? Take that blue away. Right tower will fall here, looking to push onto the right tier 2. Okay, let's clear this wave out here. Mercury popping the ultimate. They're looking to find Eonic, looking for the kill. Can they find it? There goes the damage coming out. Huge burst. Giannis in the fight, though. Big combo there, but he has to immediately disengage.
Tier 2 going to be falling here. It looks like in the 24th minute, right side of the screen. Down it does go. Cognitive continues to push in through the right side. They're going to look to at least aggress into the Phoenix, but they may not commit too much to this as it is on Fire Giant side. Probably going to look clean up the tier 2s unless this looks free for them. They do find a stun out onto Stoopy, and he's going to be in a bit of trouble. He takes to the sky. Maybe should have just kept retreating there, as Omega is going to be in a great position, but that Kukulkan Tornado is going to help zone out the Guan Yu, and they're going to fall back happy with their Phoenix and return to the base.
Big win there. 24.5 minutes into the match, 16-3. Cognitive Prime is showing their stuff, and really, Cog Red, they don't really have a whole lot to turn this game around. Now, again, they do have a chance to get that late game activated, but Cog Prime is not allowing them the option to do it. And one thing that's working so well for Cog Prime is that they have 2 characters that go back to the base and instantly be back in the fight. Guan Yu and Athena, they start off a team fight. Guan Yu and Athena absorb a lot of the damage. They're very tanky. And then Cog Red has nothing left but cooldowns. Omega and Jeff Handler go home. Athena ult, teleport towards. They're back in the fight. And all of a sudden, everything Cog Red did to damage those 2 tank characters is nullified. And they have to head on home. And it's working so well.
Divios in some trouble here. Forced to use his beads as well as his ultimate to get out of that gank attempt. Going to try to make his way to his tier 2. Will be safe, but not before he takes about a third of his life pool. And there's 3 members of Cog here in position. With a Fire Giant buff active, they can just walk right in this tier 2. Jeff Handler have no problem taking that one up. And Barracuda and Andy going to combine for then easy kill there. In the meantime, Omega is going to push out the right side lane, not want to give Cog really any opportunity. I'm sorry, Cog Red any opportunity to get back on this one. And with a teleport to wards, he'll be in the fight shortly enough.
It's rough. Right lane's being pushed up here by Omega. It's the only lane that is not all the way full out. He pushed up. So with him clearing out, that means all 3 lanes will be pressured. Also keep in mind that the right lane is fire minions there for Cognitive Prime. So Cog Red is under fire from all 3 lanes simultaneously. And they're going up against a Cognitive Prime who's currently sitting 18,000 gold in the lead with a Fire Giant buff that'll last another minute and a half or so. And it's really down to the wire.
Omega has pushed this wave successfully up to the Phoenix on the right side. Fireman's going to start streaming into the base. And the next wave still a ways out from Cog after this one. So Cognitive Red really needs to clear this one as they push into the middle. Phoenix, can they get it down with this wave? That will be great for Cognitive Prime at this stage. Let's see. It will go down indeed. So Cognitive now with only 1 more Phoenix to take down to get this win versus Red. They'll be able to push into the Titan. Unlikely that Cognitive Red will be able to stop them.
Beads are on cooldown.
Look at that hit onto Snoopy. The one major look doing so much damage, trying to roll away Snoopy now. He's got to take to the sky, forced out by Omega. Making his way to the backline as Divios, but he's prevented from going to the portal for at least a moment. Barracuda trying to follow it up, but the sprint's too good. Nuwa ultimate is going to be enough to clean up the mage. Down he does go. Gar's now the one that's in trouble, popping his ultimate to try to stay alive, at least for the time being. Immune to death, will get some HP back, but Stealth will be cleaning that one up nicely for the team. A double kill on the side of Stealth, 6-0 and 9 for the mid laner as the rest of Cognitive Pride piles in. It looks like this one's going to be going their way. I'm not sure the Titan's going to withstand this assault. Yannick and Snoopy are in the base. They realize that the jig is up. Down goes the Titan, and up goes Cognitive Prime in the standings.
Very, very strong performance there. 19-3. That's a total of 22 kills there overall. 27 minutes for the game time, and Cognitive Prime really showing that Cog Red is not invincible. I mean, that was just a through and through complete control of the match. You see, Enister didn't drop a single death there, and I think what this came down to was just picking combination. Their team comp on Cog Red was not built to deal with targeted focus. Kukulkan is not a character that can excel throughout the entire match. He's also not a character that can kind of come out super strong late, so they kind of ignored him. They saw that Giannis scales very well in the late, and so all they focused on was making sure that Ionic was not tanky enough to initiate. Divios and Guards did not get enough gold, and they ignored Snoopy, they ignored Boosh. And even though Snoopy and Boosh were able to get gold and get damage out, it meant nothing because they had a strong lineup on Cognitive Prime. Look at the damage numbers. You can see 14,000 there for Mr. Mercury and 18,000 for Nuwa. 12,000 for Boosh, the highest on his team, but that's going to be it. I mean, man, even Guan Yu dropping 11,000.
Story of this game for me was Divios getting bullied out of the solo lane completely by Omega.
Right.
Early kill coming out as well. They took the blue buff over and over and over again, plus forced Cognitive Red to make big rotations to that side of the map to contend for the orange buff as well, which slowed down Garza's farm, but it started and ended with Divios not having any say in this game. Let's take a look at a couple of highlights here. We have the Guan Yu rotation here, and well, this was an easy kill on Divios. He's going to try to get away from this one, but he gets absolutely obliterated, and then Sobek is like, I can... Oh, wait, no, I'm dead. He was going to try to peel away there, but he gets blown up as well. Double kill for Omega. We also have, I think, that end double kill for Nuwa here. Giannis is going to try to escape out of this fight as the initiation comes in to the backlines. You'll see him use through space and time and try to make his way back there, force the beads out, now just trying to escape with his life. The Frey ultimate chasing him, but then here comes the Nuwa, and down goes the Giannis just like that, and a Shining Metal will be enough to finish off the Kali as the ultimate ends. And look at the timing from Stealth. Boom, down you go, son, and away goes the Kali. And Cognitive Prime rolls over Cognitive Red in spectacular fashion, actually knocking off the number one seed that looked almost unbeatable to any team. But Dignitas sneaking that one game earlier on, and then, of course, a DQ as well for Cognitive Red. But Prime showing that they still got some fight in them.
Yeah, well, after this match, of course, they're going to put Cognitive Red at 13-3. This is their third loss so far in the SPL. Cognitive Prime moving from 9-6 until 10-6. So they're getting very, very close.
Half a game now behind Dig.
Yeah, that's right. They're tied for wins, of course, and in Dig, they have that little loss. 10-5, 10-6. Dig really needs to start winning today. Of course, they're coming up next against Chunk. So if they get that victory, it's going to put them, a little bit more comfortable ahead of Cognitive Prime in that second seed slot. But NA is it's looking like they're looking for the small bits and pieces as they're already locked in for the regional.
Dignitas has struggled against Chunks earlier in the season. We'll see if they can keep it together here in this last matchup they're going to have with the team at the end of week number 6. That is going to do it here for game number 1 here from North America. Guys, we'll be back with game number 2 shortly. Dignitas versus the Chunks. For Dry Bear, I'm hi-rez Bart, and we'll see you guys soon with that one. Don't go anywhere.